For this video, I'm going to show you how to add an assignment in Teams that provides different options for the students. So log into Teams, go to your specific Teams site and click on the Assignments tab. Here you'll see you have a Create button, and this Create button allows you to do three different things. It allows you to create a quiz. The quiz, once you click on there, opens up forms, and you have to be careful because if you don't specifically click quiz format in forms itself, it actually just creates a form. And within here, you need to select a new form or a new quiz. And the quiz, the difference between a form and the quiz is the quiz you can assign points. And I know it would be really frustrating if you created a form thinking that you could assign self-assign points within the form itself, but you need to select quiz. Your second option is create one from existing. So for me, I assign blogs and Tuesday tutorials for my media class, and instead of recreating those every single time, I can just go into here and I can select those assignments that are already created and then just duplicate them. And the last thing that you can do is you could create a brand new one. And what this does is this will pop up a window with some fields or some lines that you need to fill in. Pretty simple. So I am going to create one called Favorite Foods. Here you can create different categories. So like for me, with my media crew, I've created categories that are Tuesday tutorial, blogs, assignments. That's kind of like where you can start filtering and tagging. For me, I usually keep the instructions here fairly simple because this is not a rich text formatting. It's really, really simple. So I'm going to say create a PowerPoint. View the attached outline for details. Use the planning sheet attached for your planning. And self-evaluate using the attached rubric. And I'll show you guys how to do this. That's a pretty cool thing. So now what you can do is you can start adding your resources. Resources can be a number of different things. They can be resources such as an outline. So I am going to go and select the outline that I've created for this. And any outlines rule of thumb, I convert to PDFs so that my students know that they are an outline. So there's my favorite food outline. Another resource could be a template that I would like them just to fill in within this Teams assignment. So here I've referred, this will be my planning sheet. So I'm going to go back and add my resources. And this time I'm going to do it as a Word document so that the students can actually type right within there. Now you see here, it's attached as a Word document, but it states here that students cannot edit this. So this is a read-only locked file until I change that. And I change that by going over to my three dots. These are called ellipses. And I change it so that students edit their own copy. And what this does is this duplicates this exact same document into every single student's assignment list. And then all they have to do is click on it, edit in a browser, and they can do it on any device without even Word being attached because it edits right in the browser. And the last thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to attach that rubric that I referred to, self-evaluate. I'm including that as a Word document so that they can go in and edit it. So now I have my 3 resources. I need to change this so that they can edit this one. I can give it point value. I can attach a rubric. Now here's the deal with rubrics. The rubrics need to be created within Teams. You cannot copy and paste. You cannot import rubrics. You have to manually create them within Teams. But once they're created within Teams, they are now available for every single team and assignment within your team list. I know it says upload rubric here, but those are rubrics that are created and then exported within Teams here itself. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say, let's just say I'm going to include the term video rubric. That is just an example so that I can show you guys. Here's where it would show me them, and then I could go in and finish creating it. Now the next thing I can do is I can actually select the specific students within my class that I would like this assigned to. In my media class, I have 2 totally different levels of capability there, so I actually assign different assignments to different students. Due dates and time due, this is very flexible in how a due date is, and let me show you why. Because if I go into this edit button here, this due date now is kind of expanded. I have a due date when I would like the assignment to be handed in. In this close date, what that does is it allows time for me as a teacher to go in, take a look at the assignment, mark it, give it feedback, return it, and provide the student with a second opportunity to apply that feedback before the close date. So if they hand it in after the due date, it will be marked as late. However, if they get it returned and resubmit it before the closing date, they're good to go. If you don't do that, make sure that your due date and your close date are the same time. You can also schedule this so that this does not get released until a specific date. And I do this on a regular basis. I set up because I know that I have Tuesday tutorials every Tuesday. I will actually schedule in as many as I can ahead of time. And the nice thing about this is it actually will become a notification on their conversation board, and so they'll receive a notification on whatever device that they're using, and then they can just click on that notification. So I'm going to say I want this posted 8 a.m. so then I can show you what that looks like, and then this will be due tomorrow. Click. And so now I have a rubric attached. I've given it a point value. I have not specified any students. I've made sure that I've adjusted my times, and now I can go in and I can schedule it. I'm in my conversation channel right here, and this is public to everyone within my team site, and you can see how this assignment gets posted right here. So students get notified about this. If I click on this assignment, even as a student, it takes me right to the assignment view. For me as a teacher, it brings in all the people on my list. As a student, they would actually see this specific outline. Now I created a test assignment yesterday and handed it in from just a test student right here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when I go in and can grade it now. So here Dawson, he's handed in his assignment. I know that it's handed in because it says turned in, and so I can go now and I can take a look at it and mark it. If I had my rubric would open up right here, and I could actually fill in my rubric as I go. Here is Dawson's work here that he's handed in. If I wanted to go in and do some comments or some annotation right here, I would go in and say I want to edit in browser, and then what I can do is I can add some comment features right within here. So this little button right here, wherever my cursor is, I can say, Dawson, please use capitals. So this is just one way that you can provide feedback very specifically to the text that you may be looking at. The other way is in general. So and then you can give it a point value. Now when I click return, the student will be notified that their assignment has been returned. And on my list now, it looks different. It will say to grade there's 0, and my graded will say it's been graded and returned. And Dawson actually has the opportunity, because this is not truly due until 11:59 p.m. today, to go back and re-hand it in. Now what I would like to do is just pop into Dawson's view for the teams in my class site right here. And again, this is his view of the conversation post. So these assignments have been posted. He will be notified about them. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to view this assignment that has been assigned. And I can go in and take a look at it. And what you'll notice is right off the bat, I can take a look at the outline itself. Here's my outline. I click on there, it opens up within my browser itself. I can take a look at exactly what my teacher would like. And this is where my work is. And see how it's separated between reference material, because I said students cannot edit, and my work. And every single student will have my work if I say students can edit. So now what I can do is I can go into here, and this is my planning sheet. I click on it. It opens it up. But I need to do one more thing in order for me to be able to type in here. I have to go up top here and say edit in browser. I could say open in desktop app as well. I quite often like to edit better in the desktop app if I have it, because it just gives me a little bit better functionality. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and I'm going to type in just like I normally do. My favorite food. Is sushi. It is made of rice, raw, and sometimes cooked fish, nori, and lots of other good stuff. Now, when I'm done and I'm ready to hand this in, I'll show you what needs to be done. Notice how it's saving automatically. That's what's wonderful about this. Even if you open it up in the desktop app, it would save and sync. So if the computer crashes, the kids are totally fine. I'm going to close this now. And I'm done everything now. But my teacher has asked me to self-evaluate using the rubric that I've attached. So what I do is I'm going to open up this rubric. I'm going to edit the document. And what I get my students to do, because they do self-evaluate, is I get them to use this highlight tool. So I go down and I turn my highlight color to yellow. And then what I do is I just basically highlight where I always say what best describes. And that's how they self-evaluate. Once they're done, they click close. And now they can actually turn it in. So you see here, because the due date has not passed yet, and they were thinking, oh no, I forgot something, they can undo, basically take back their turn-in. Now, as a teacher, I can see that Dawson has turned in his favorite food assignment. I can go in and take a look at his different things that he handed in. I can open up my rubric, which will show up as a list right here. I can enter my feedback, and I can give it a point value. So Dawson hasn't quite done enough work, so I'm going to return. Hop back over to Dawson's. At this point, because it's been returned, I've provided feedback. As a student, I can go in and do those adjustments and turn it in again. Now I am back in Dawson's view, and he has been notified that this has been returned to him. So this is a great way to set up assignments that students can create online. They don't have to have any of the Office applications loaded onto their device because they can edit everything in browser, and there can be a two-way communication occurring either through the comment section or the feedback that you provide for each assignment. I will be creating a video for students going through the process of how they can access their assignments that you've allowed them to edit, and how to insert separate assignments and to turn them in.